Over 7 years ago, a claim surfaced that China was considering constructing an 8,077-mile high-speed train route from Beijing that would traverse across Siberia, then cross the Bering Strait to Alaska. According to various news sites reporting at the time, China's excellent high-speed rail network would be strengthened, and business between China, Russia, Canada, and the United States would be boosted. Even though there were rumblings about the project for a while, they eventually died down and nothing more has been heard of it since. But before we begin, if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications to never miss any updates. From China to Russia to Canada and then the United States was reported as having taken place in 2014 along an 8,078-mile stretch of railway track. As soon as the train reached the Bering Strait, a narrow stretch of water that divides the Pacific and Arctic Oceans, it would be submerged, and the tunnel would be completely submerged. Chinese officials, on the other hand, concluded that the train's path was feasible despite their reservations. A report published by China's official news agency, China Daily, claims that this country has the technology and resources required to carry out such a massive operation. There are still a few indicators that the project may ultimately go through. Ties between the United States and China would most likely have to improve before this could happen. However, the project's long-term viability remains in doubt. China was said to be well along in negotiations with Russia, which had been considering a line under the Bering Strait for years. To begin construction of the line, according to the original 2014 report, the engineers from both countries confident that the project was feasible using current technologies. IFL Science reminds out that in 2018, China authorized the construction of the world's first underwater bullet train, demonstrating that high-speed rail technology is viable under the ocean. The projected bullet train project will run for 47.8 miles from Ningbo, a port city near Shanghai, to the archipelago islands of Zhuhai, which are located off the east coast of the country. The course will be submerged for a total of 10 kilometers. Even though the Ningbo to Zhuhai route is far shorter than the Channel Tunnel, it will serve as a type of test project for underwater maglev train lines. If the Ningbo to Zhuhai line proves to be a success, China will most likely shift its attention to a broader project, such as the China-Russia-Canada-America line. Will the ambitious project go ahead? Let me tell you that the South China Morning Post was suspicious of the first anticipated expenses of $200 billion, which the paper estimated to be too expensive. Because of this, the project may have to be placed on hold, according to current reports. This may not seem like a big deal, but it's worth noting that the Channel Tunnel had to be built 180 years before it was finished in the year 1994. The earliest proposal for an underground connection between Britain and France came from French engineer Albert Mathieu Flavier in 1802. However, it wasn't until 1987 that the British and French parliaments decided to proceed with the project. Rail is expected to continue to receive significant investment in the coming years from countries such as China, Russia, Canada, and the United States, in part because of the industry's environmental qualifications and experience, which could provide a much-needed boost to the China-Russia-Canada-America line project. Rail travel in the United States, for example, generates just 2% of the country's overall emissions, even though it transports 40% of the country's long-distance cargo. Aside from that, other rail advances, such as the very efficient automated rail inspection system, suggest that such a project is almost probably technologically feasible. You might also want to note that even though the China-Russia-Canada-America connection seems to be on hold for the time being, we can expect to see a line connecting Siberia and Alaska in some shape or form soon. Given the dearth of formal communication in recent years, the project may be still in its early stages. There's a lot of debate as to whether or not the railway will be constructed. While it is plausible given China's extensive rail network, the country's 23,000-mile high-speed railway system is the biggest in the world. The Shanghai Maglev is the world's fastest commercial electric train. This railway line connects Shanghai Pudong Airport with Longyang Road in the east of the city through maglev trains. Superconducting magnets are used to hold railway cars above a U-shaped concrete guideway, so the train has always been elevated. Here, it is worth mentioning that China is increasing its investment in rail travel as a means of reducing CO2 emissions from both the car and aerospace industries. High-speed rail substantially decreases environmental pollution by 7.3% in China. Trains are largely regarded as the most environmentally sustainable mode of public transportation available today. For every kilometer traveled by a train, the greenhouse impact of gas emissions is 80% lower than that of an automobile. Furthermore, a normal railway route can transport up to 50,000 passengers every hour. Let me tell you that a railway ride emits just 14 grams of CO2 per passenger every kilometer traveled, compared to around 285 grams for air travel. With its efficiency and flexibility, high-speed railway lines may be used for both tourist and freight transit. In comparison to driving, they typically travel at a speed of roughly 200 miles per hour and offer convenience, safety, fewer environmental impact, and greater social advantages than driving. With the high expenses and complex political ties between the United States, Russia, and China, building this project would be a massive task. As the longer underwater tunnel in the world, the Bering Strait crossing will be a major challenge for the project, according to experts. Estimates put the total cost of this project at $35 billion, with development projected to take 12 to 15 years. Because the nearest endpoint in Russia is 3,000 kilometers away, and the project in Alaska is estimated to need over 1,200 kilometers of the new railway line, new infrastructure is required to link the land with the sea. The anticipated cost of building the missing infrastructure to link the project is above $200 billion, which Democrats say is excessive. According to Willis Rooney, an economist at Global Data, I don't find any evidence of a purpose to develop this project from any official sources. Merely a statement by someone at the Chinese Academy of Engineering who may have since gone away. More likely, it's just a pipe dream than anything else. These large international enterprises often have difficulty getting off the ground because of conflicting national agendas and needs. Even if it went forward, doubt it would have much of an impact. China's expanding public debt levels are expected to restrict investment in more fantastical initiatives like this. When it comes to large-scale international undertakings, differences in country interests and expectations inhibit development progress because of geopolitical conflicts. You might also want to note opposition continues to label the concept economically redundant, stating that aircraft and cargo ships are more cost-effective and efficient solutions for commerce since the proposed project is too complicated. As spectacular as it may seem, the project looks to be on hold at this time. Here, it is important to note that the China-Russia-Canada-US line may no longer be a pipe dream in the future, thanks to improvements in technology and infrastructure. That concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to share your valuable feedback with us in the comments section below. And while you're here, click to watch one of these two videos appearing on your screen right now. I will see you there. Take care and stay tuned.